Today's episode is a review on WandaVision.
We're gonna give spoilers?
Oh, damn. It's over. Probably on DVD now. Hey, what's up, everybody?
I'm Ranuma.
And I'm Iz.
And welcome to the rnipodcast.
Welcome.
What's up, guys?
Hello. It's exciting because this show I didn't think was going to be, like as good as it was, to be completely honest. I was going in on this, I was like, it looks like my childhood when all the cartoons were done. Mm-hmm. And it's just all like the adult shows that are in like black and white. Yeah, I'm that old. I remember retro. The black and white. Yeah, because the trailer it was black and white, right? It was like the I Love Lucy.
Yeah, it was all black and white.
Oh yeah, and it was crazy how everything went over.
Yeah. So the show that he's talking about is none other than WandaVision on Disney Plus, and yes, it's probably on DVD now. Gosh,
they should know.
I just finished watching it. Gosh.
Spoilers, guys. Spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you
spoiler alert. Like there should be a banner like right here, like whoosh, spoiler alert.
Yeah. Huge. We told you guys. So anything after this, it's not our fault. Mm-hmm. Legally. So anyway, let's go on. WandaVision. WandaVision is a miniseries by Marvel, by the MCU, that showcases both the Scarlet Witch and Vision as the main focus, as well as some other characters like Monica Rambeau and Jimmy Woo and others that we'll probably bring up later on in the podcast. Yeah. Now, I'm a big MCU fan only because it's just really good. Like, I mean, the writing, the how they kind of made the series. I can't really explain like the plot, how they just made it just kind of move within different scenarios was crazy because you do see different types of TV shows because WandaVision is like a television show, and throughout the episodes they go through certain time periods of episodes. They even have commercials, like old school commercials. I thought it was, when I was watching these commercials, I was like, man, I know these commercials. Like right when they got to the 80s, I was just like, I remember those.
Yeah. And did you notice that the commercials had Hydra in them?
Yes, some of them, yes.
Some of them did. Yeah, some of them did. I was like, oh, maybe Hydra's behind all this. Who knows? Because yeah.
Well, if you think about it,
pretty interesting.
Since you just finished it should be still kind of fresh in your brain.
Yeah.
All of the TV shows that was chosen from Wanda's past. Mm-hmm. So that means that I think the commercials were similar to, or I'm sorry, they had the Hydra because Hydra was so, was big back then, or I guess was within media. And so, it goes to show like, I got a lot of nostalgia from the past, but they're adding their world, their universe in the commercials. And I was just like, yes.
Yep. And it all made sense because in the first couple of episodes, like first 2 or 3, it was just like, what are we watching? It went from like the 50s to the 60s to the 70s. It was pretty interesting how they did that all the way up until to now. And then now I understood like why they did that, and it wasn't it was all because she did it. It was what she knew back then. It's what made her happy, and that was like her happy place, like literally. So she made a sitcom into her actual real life, and at the same time bringing Vision because that's basically the whole premise of why she even did it in the first place, So
I think with how Wanda's powers were in the very beginning, when you find out she is a big part of it, I'm just like, what? I was like, she just created a reality. You know what I
She
mean?
did. Yeah.
I was just
Reality
like,
show
she was
after.
so sad, and and reality. And I think it was episode 6 or 7, where she, it was like a fourth wall, kind of like Survivor. You know, where like they'll have the scene, and then all of a sudden they do a cut scene, and then you're just inside of a confessional. But yeah, no, I really don't like that other guy. No, he's just not cooperative. You know what I mean? Like, so she started talking like that. So she'd have her interactions with her husband, who's Vision, and then the kids. Oh, and the kids, that was crazy. And you know that reaction, and then all of a sudden they'll cut off. Say the kid was. I forgot what scene exactly, but you know she gets cut off, and then boom, she's in a room talking to the camera, and so that was interesting to see too. You know, when she started using tropes of media. Yeah,
and it's because of what she knows, everything from her past, so she applied it into what she thinks is going to be her happy place, like I said. But it's yeah, it's a very interesting show if you haven't seen it. I was kind of like, it's Wanda and it's Vision. Like, if it's Black Panther, you know, yeah, I'm all over it. But, you know, it's you know, the Marvel Universe. And like what Izzy was saying, MCU did their stuff right, you know. They're able to use their characters. There's certain characters that come in that's from, like, you know, X-Men that comes in there. And they just did it right. Not to bash on their competitor, but it's kind of like, man, how many Batmans have we had right now? You know.
Oh yeah. We're about to have more too.
Yeah.
What's his name? Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Pattinson. Sorry. Yeah.
So he's coming in.
And
but like over here, the MCU, they only got one Captain America, one Tony Stark. You know, and they kept it consistent with all the other series or movies that they're able to intertwine, you know. So it's pretty. WandaVision is another good example of all that.
And keeping it, no. But yeah, coming into the show was definitely not what I expected. I thought, like I said earlier, I thought it was going to be a weak show. I was just like, what can we talk about, or what else can we, you know, show about Wanda? And then, you know, going into the end in the 8th episode, you're like, oh, everything just clicks. It just clicked. I was just like, okay, this makes sense. Oh, so that's why, you know, there's a lot of those. And so that's what I like about series, where everything closes up, which is another big thing about WandaVision, is that it closed everything nicely. There wasn't a lot of questions.
Yeah.
You know, there was a question from me about Agatha Harkness's character. She was played by Kathryn Hahn, and you know, I thought Kathryn Hahn was Idina Menzel, the singer, the one that did the
Let It Go.
I don't know why I keep getting them mixed up, but yeah. So her character played a big role in the Scarlet Witch's life and throughout the comics. I don't really read a lot of the comics back, you know, that is from the past, you know, talking about the Scarlet Witch or Agatha at all.
Right.
But from what I did read a little bit of the wiki that was available to me, that Agatha was actually a tutor or a teacher. And Agatha also was someone who was like an anti-villain, was it anti-villain?
Kind of like a Deadpool kind of thing, or kind of person, or like Spawn.
Yeah,
not really.
But I think Deadpool was more like an
anti-hero.
Hero, or no, because he wasn't a villain. Deadpool doesn't play a villain. He plays. Right. He's a mercenary. So I guess, you know what, he would be anti-hero or anti-villain. It all depends on who has the money, right?
He's just neutral, you know. He's like
yeah,
it depends on what the reward is, you know. But so you started watching the show. You thought it was going to be weak, but what ended up? What made it, like, besides the whole kicker at the end? My goodness.
So the biggest thing was the kids. The kids growing up. When the kids were growing up with with each episode, I was like, oh, okay, so these kids can just grow up fast. I was like, is this Wanda doing that? Because this is insane. And then they were given powers, but
the powers. How did they even get that?
Well, they got it from Wanda because Wanda she's a powerful being. I think she's a mutant, and so she gave birth to mutant children. And then one was empath like her, or like, you know, I guess a witch like her, and the other one was a speedster like her brother, which is another episode or another thing we could talk about is what's his name? Pietro, yeah. Quicksilver. I keep thinking Silver Surfer, but yeah, Quicksilver. He came into the show, and it wasn't even the one from the MCU.
Nope.
It was the one from the First Class series of X-Men.
Yeah.
That was so crazy, and that wasn't even his name in there.
No,
his name was something Boner.
Yeah, like
something
Ralph,
Boner.
It was Ralph Boner.
Boner, yeah, Ralph Boner.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, but it's funny. I didn't think it was Boner. I thought it was Bonner.
Because it's
BOH. But everybody is saying it's Boner.
Boner. Okay, yeah, there you go. But yeah, he showed up, and I thought that was pretty cool. That they're, again, like I was saying earlier, they were intertwining the characters with each other's series and movies and stuff like that. So now it gets me thinking, is this Quicksilver going to be the Quicksilver of the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe now? You know?
I don't think so, because he isn't Pietro.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
but then was it because Agatha brought him in?
Well, so he didn't bring. She didn't bring him. Well, at least from what I understand, he isn't someone that is from the X-Men universe. Mm-hmm. He is someone from the MCU universe. So I don't know if he's a Quicksilver, but there was other people saying like, oh, he doesn't look like he's in the right world or something like that. You know what I mean? there are a couple of little like sneaks in the show, you know, kind of insinuating. And plus, he had speed, so yeah, you know what I mean. I'm like, they gave him speed, so they obviously know that this person has played a speedster. However, he was an actor in WandaVision.
Yep.
So yeah, what about you, man? Like, what were your ideas coming in?
So, like I said, coming in with the first one or two, the second episode, I was like, okay, is this just gonna be like a sitcom, maybe just for entertainment purposes only? But then, even I think it was in the first episode where they saw that there was something going on, right? It was when they were at the pool, and that was when they heard a voice on the radio. Like, Wanda, can you hear me? I don't know. I'm not sure if that was the second or first episode, but that one was like, oh, okay, so here's the story. So, of course, when you watch more of it, it's just like, oh, okay. And then there's like an episode that's just solely based on what is really going on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like one of those mind blowing moments.
Totally.
So like, it was slow for me in the beginning, and then as the episodes went by, episode 9 came out of nowhere. Like, this is it, you know. Like, I want more, you know. Like,
yeah,
it was one of those things. So it was a really good series, I believe. But here's a question. So I believe we all know that with Tony Stark snapping his fingers, in Endgame. That's basically the end of Phase 3, right?
When Iron Man does it?
Mm-hmm.
Or when the Hulk does it?
I think when Iron Man does it.
Because the end of Phase 3 is before Spider-Man. So yeah, I would say maybe it is when Iron Man does the snap.
Okay. So now, would you say that WandaVision is like a kind of a kickoff to Phase 4 then, or?
I believe so. I think it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then so the other so that's why I brought up the snapping. So in the series of WandaVision, there's a scene where people are being brought back to life. And I was thinking, is this when Tony snaps his fingers and then everybody just comes out of nowhere, undoing what Thanos did by eliminating like half the universe?
I'm pretty sure that was when people came back. That's when the Hulk did it.
Really?
Because that's when Hawkeye's wife called.
Oh.
Yeah, Hawkeye's wife called Hawkeye when they were at the facility, and then boom, Thanos came.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Because
Tony's snap got rid of Thanos.
But Hulk's snap brought back whoever Thanos eliminated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, gotcha. So then now, probably the hospital scene where everybody's coming back, like you said, is probably when the Hulk snapped his fingers. Then,
mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
At that very moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Goes to show though, like when they're at WandaVision, or when they're outside of the I guess the world or the dome.
Yeah.
I guess that has to be after, because obviously Wanda's there. So I want to say that the time frame between where Monica Rambeau goes from the hospital to where Wanda is probably a couple months in between, or maybe a month, if that. I don't know how long Wanda took after grieving, but yeah. Yeah, so when Iron Man snapped, that was to bring or to take down Thanos. Because when the Hulk snapped, that was to bring back Doctor Strange and all them.
Yeah. That was
trippy though. The hospital scene? Yeah. When everybody I was just like, whoa. I was like, it was weird that they were just going back to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like nothing happened.
Yeah, some of them were just like walking, like you just see them like kind of like slowly going to their stuff and they're walking, and then like they would keep walking, but you wouldn't see them stop to realize like, oh, I'm not at the same time. Mm-hmm. But how sad was that?
They came in like what, years later?
5 years later, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess we're only like gone for like 5 minutes, or maybe not even that for some people. Monica Rambeau, she was sleeping next to her mom, then woke up and the mom's not there anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh no. And I didn't know who she was in the beginning until I heard her last name. I was like, oh wait, what? I was like, she doesn't realize how big she is? Yeah. Or would she? Or would she? Because the blip happened 5 years. And she didn't grow at all. Wait. How? I don't know the timeline. Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Jump.
Never mind. Because Carol Danvers left in 89. Mm-hmm. So that means that, so Monica Rambeau is our age, I guess.
Oh, yeah. She was. Yeah. That's true, because.
Or a little bit older.
Yeah. When the Captain Marvel movie took place like a long time ago. And so she's like. But I'm pretty sure, she's probably like a mid-30s or something like that, which is what she is right now. So that makes sense. Yeah.
She's a bit older. Yeah. So, there's that. And I don't know, man. Crazy. You have a question here, too, that I was reading that I also wanted to talk about. So, sword.
What does that even stand for?
I'm not sure.
At least S.H.I.E.L.D. had something.
Sword. Was sword... Marvel. Was sword something that it stands for Sentient World Observation and Response Department. So I guess it's for sentient worlds. So I guess other worlds that have living beings. Yeah, because S.H.I.E.L.D. deals with the extraterrestrial threats to world security. Mm-hmm. So I guess there's some people that monitor and people that protect.
That makes sense, because S.H.I.E.L.D. is like the one who protects from the outsiders, and then S.H.I.E.L.D. is one that's the sword is the one that's creating weapons. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yep. And that's
Dope.
why, and I think that's where Sword was. I was just like, when did Sword start? You know?
Yeah, I was like, oh, we got Sword and Shield all of a sudden, you know?
Yeah, I was just saying Sword, Shield. That's funny. I was just like, will there be a chest plate and maybe
Right?
armor? Maybe. Who knows?
Chest.
But
Chainmail.
yeah,
Chainmail.
Sword was interesting. I think. Oh yeah, and you know how everybody was kind of brainwashed throughout the show. Like I thought that was super. I was just like, yo, Wanda tripping. Like when Vision started to question, you know, like his existence, he started going outside of the neighborhood into, you know, a different part, and
Past-
people were just like,
Yeah, he was
And
like,
then
he
you
went
see
to
a
go
chick
past
crying.
Ellis Avenue or something like that.
mhm.
And,
And
yeah, they were
yeah.
just like in slow motion all of a sudden.
They were all enslaved, and I was just like, yo, that. I was just like, Wanda, you should go to jail for that.
And it was kind of sad because the one that you were talking about she was crying. You know, she had a tear coming down too.
Yeah, hanging up her laundry. She's
was
been
like,
hanging up her
man.
laundry for the past 4 or 5 episodes. I forget when she was discovered, but yeah.
Oh,
So like,
man.
what Wanda was doing was enslaving the people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously she wasn't trying to do that out of ill will, but
Yeah,
oops,
that wasn't her intention, but they just happened to be there,
Mhm.
and it just happened. So going back, Sword. So is that going to in the future going to be taking over Shield? Because you know how Shield was like what it was dispersed because of the whole Civil War incident that happened. And then like Shield just got rid of themselves, and then so I'm thinking is Sword is like they said forget about protecting. Now we just gotta make our own weapons because if Tony Stark can do it, then you might as well just build an organization and just do it ourselves as well. You know?
I think Sword is not a replacement of Shield because I think Avengers is a replacement of Shield. Because the Avengers is a group of heroes and people that hold justice against outside. You know, they're Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers.
Yeah.
Sword, however, I think is more of the human side, and the bad dude in there was kind of like he played his part pretty well. I did not like him from the very beginning. I was just like, yeah, player, nah, get out of my screen. So yeah,
I'm like, okay. I was the one's like, okay, I'll give him a chance. I'll give him no, he messed up. No, he's done. He messed up.
like it was just I was just like, nah, that's not cool. But you know, you have all your favorites. I mean, Kat Dennings was in there, beautiful woman.
Yeah, what happened to her? She just all of a sudden rammed the circus truck into the SWAT vehicle in which Hayward, that's his name, Haywood, the guy in control that we don't like. She just wasn't there all of a sudden. It was kind of weird. Like, what happened to her? You know,
What do you mean?
like what ended up happening to what's her name, Darcy?
Darcy, yeah, that's her name.
Dr. Darcy. So she slams in to Hayward, and then I don't remember anything after that of her.
Oh, she ended up saying goodbye to Jimmy and all them, and
She
she's
just
like,
left.
she
leaves.
just left. Yeah, because she's no longer needed. That was her like ending to like trap Hayward in there, and I remember when they were all in the truck. And they're like, so what do you do? Oh, I'm this kind of engineer. And then one person didn't talk. And then she said what she did, and the last person spoke. And then that other person was like, oh, I'm this. And it's like, no one cares. Who cares?
That was that was like her very first scene. She's like, no one cares.
Yeah. When she got it, I was like, oh, I'm going to like this one. I'm going to like this.
Of course it is, of course.
And then, of course, Jimmy Woo, played by Randall Park. That dude is a genius. I love that guy. He's such a good actor.
Yeah.
He's also in the DC universe too. He's the one that was helping rebuild Manta's uniform.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yes, sir.
He was like the madman in Aquaman at the end. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
this happened. But anyways, back to the MCU. So another question that I had was, who was the second Vision, the white Vision that had the blue, looks like the blue stone on his forehead? Who exactly was that?
He was the original. He was the original body.
But how did he? Because to me he just came out of nowhere.
No. So remember how Vision died from Thanos, like giving his head?
But I mean like he came out of nowhere inside of Wanda's dome thing. Like,
are you talking about the Vision that's already in the dome?
No, I'm talking about the white Vision. He just came out of nowhere. Like, I understand he's the original, but like, how was he built?
How did he get into the reality?
Yeah,
he was rebuilt. He was rebuilt by Sword. He's the original Vision that was rebuilt by Sword, and he flew into the world. And that's how he was able to get into WandaVision.
Okay, so he was just used as a weapon from Hayward. Okay,
he was not used as a weapon. Like, he is the original Vision, now weaponized.
Right.
And then he went up against the made up Vision through Wanda's memory, which is crazy because what's his name? Vision, his power is similar to the Mind Stone, and her power, or Wanda's power, is also similar to the Mind Stone, thus making him able to think of what's happened. So he's loved, and he's experienced love, and he's experienced all these things with the Avengers before. He's experienced them, but there's certain things that are blocked out that Wanda didn't give to him.
Yeah.
And with that being said, he literally uploaded his memories into the original body of Vision. And I think that is where we'll get Vision in the MCU.
I think so too. I mean, because he got his memories back, and all he has to do is paint himself.
Yep. And he's like, let me get. Actually, he doesn't have to paint himself. He can just literally like apply it to himself.
I know.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah. He's like, okay, here we go. All right, so now towards the end, this one just kept bugging me a lot.
Okay.
So Agnes, or not, was it Agnes or Agatha? Actually, they're both like the same character in a sense, but so Agatha was warning Wanda about her when her powers were being increased because Wanda was taking her power. She's like, "Oh, you don't know what you've done. You're gonna need me, or whatever." So, what do you think? What do you think she's what do you think she's trying to say? Do you think maybe Wanda might be, probably a potential villain at some point of Phase 4? Maybe she'll bust out like how Phoenix or Jean Grey was, because she was powerful.
That makes
too,
sense. That makes sense. Because in different versions of the Scarlet Witch did destroy the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, she's so powerful.
She did do that.
Super powerful.
But I was like, so did Frank. What's his name? Frank, the Punisher. He also
Frank Castle.
Frank Castle. There you go. He destroyed the MC universe. So did Deadpool. There's tons of people in the MCU that's done it, and depending on the Phase 4, and depending on what they want to do with Wanda, if they're going to do the arc of where she's going to possibly destroy the world, then that'd be crazy. That'd be a crazy thing. They're going to bring in other characters, so who knows what's going to happen? You know what I mean?
She's super powerful, and
she's crazy. She make people do like menial tasks without having any control of their body. Tear.
Tear. And then Agatha says that it's chaos magic. You know, she literally says that, or she says that. You know, like chaos magic. Like, oh crap. But it was pretty cool when she got her costume at the end. Like, oh, that's the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I was like,
that's
ooh.
her right there.
Ooh. It's funny that she gave one of her sons the one that's with speed, Pietro's look, the old school look.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's tight. Something tells me that the show should have came out in October because there was a Halloween episode, but that's just me.
I mean, maybe they had it like that too, where it was going to come in October, but the whole COVID thing, they pushed it back. I don't know if you remember that they pushed it back a couple of times before releasing. But another one. So at the very, I think this was like the very end, even after the post credit scenes. You know, Marvel's super. They're no stranger to like a whole bunch of cliffhangers to the post credit scenes, right?
Yeah.
So the lady comes in and starts talking to Monica, saying, what was he asking? She was asking like, "Do you want to see him?" What, I forgot. It was like,
"No, we need you,"
or he needs you, or something.
Yeah, and then who? Like a family friend. I don't know if it was a he. I'm pretty sure it was they or like a she.
I remember it's a he because I remember writing it down. It was like,
oh, okay.
Remember, are you ready to see him? I'm like, who is he? And she is a what is her species?
Cruel
or cruel?
Kree.
A Kree, right? Yeah. A Kree. So I'm like, who is it? You know, like obviously the whole Captain Marvel thing and the Kree are there's something else going on because that's another thing. Monica got powers. What the heck?
Mm-hmm. Monica got powers because of the Mind Stone, I guess.
Oh man!
Oh, it's a Skrull. It's a Skrull, not a Kree. It's a Skrull. The Kree were trying to kill the Skrulls. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah. So, overall, though, of the show, I thought it was great. The plot really did. The pacing was just perfect. Mm-hmm. I really loved the nostalgia. There was no real slow parts to it, and there was a lot of funny parts and a lot of Easter eggs, or potential Easter eggs, in this show. So I'm gonna have to give this show a B+.
A B+.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a B.
Nice.
Again, like you said, I did like the Halloween scene when they dressed up as their retro comic
characters.
Book
character, even Vision's one. Dude, that's so funny.
He was dressed up as a he said a Hispanic wrestler or whatever. Oh, he's like, I'm a luchador. I'm like, okay, Vision, okay.
I was like, that's your original costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but so I'm glad that you watched it because I know you wasn't really feeling it, but I'm glad you watched it. I mean, I'm glad I was gonna watch it whether I liked it or not, so I could stay up to date because I knew it was gonna be important to Phase 4.
That's true, and I wanted to I did wanted to watch the other movies in the future too when it comes out, and I don't want to be like, what the heck just happened? When did this happen? So obviously, Marvel did a good job in filling in some time gaps that's gonna happen between now and to like the future movies that are gonna come out, like Thor, Love and Thunder, right? And maybe I think Loki is gonna have his own show.
Yep. So, Love and Thunder is going to be a movie.
Yeah, Love and Thunder is going to be a movie.
Yeah. Right now I'm watching the Falcon and Winter Soldier. So,
man.
Look out for that episode, y'all. It's going to be intense.
Oh, man. That's another story. That's
another story.
All right, man. So, that wraps up this episode. Thank you to White Wong Media. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Like, comment down below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the links are down below. Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time, guys.